Every time we make a new video, the COVID-19 situation keeps escalating. Places are shutting down, more people keep catching the virus, and now conspiracy theories are circulating. But what if we all woke up one day and had the COVID-19 virus? Let's get to it. That's what we'll discuss today on Green Click. By the way, be a friend and subscribe. Click the notification button to get alerts and like the video to help us make more videos you love about our amazing continent. Let's dive in. The answer to this depends on the scenario that precedes the event. If we all knew that we had COVID-19, the world would be in the state of panic initially. Eventually, most heads would calm down and follow the steps needed to be virus-free. This includes resting at home, washing your hands continuously, and then calling in advance to go see your doctor. However, the problem here is all doctors would be sick and seriously busy. There are so many people over 65 and their loved ones would most likely be rushing them to get some medical care. You would also have those with weaker immune systems or those with asthma, diabetes, et al. Visiting the clinics immediately. How doctors and nurses would work shifts while being sick and self-medicating would be seriously challenging, as self-isolation would be the immediate course of action for all those younger folks with decent immune systems. The streets of the world would be so quiet you could hear a housefly flying across the street. Immediate job losses may not happen, but almost all offices and businesses would be shut down, and you'd most likely be left at the mercy of what you currently have in your home to survive. But if cool heads prevailed, everybody would realize something. You cannot infect anyone if we are all infected. So essential commercial areas like grocery stores could still be open, but with all staff being infected. Eventually, this would have the economy of the world be in serious threat, as all businesses would be halted, people will not have money to spend, and the value of money would plummet. Importing and exporting goods would be complicated, and third world nations would be in disarray. The government would do its best to stabilize the situation, but if people do not cooperate, nothing will be solved. The second scenario would be if nobody knew they had the COVID-19 virus. This scenario would be reminiscent of a ticking time bomb. Life would go on as is right now, and some people would be going to work while others would still be sending their children to daycare until the first fatalities would be coming out in waves. This would cause panic, as it would take some time to understand that we all have the virus within us. In the midst of death happening to those with weaker immune systems, others unsure of how they could cope with the virus would also swarm clinics. Doctors would eventually have to decide who to treat due to the overwhelming visitation to the hospitals. Governments would broadcast live messages urging everyone to go into self-isolation. Before this happens too, the stores would definitely be raided worse than it happens on Black Friday. Sometimes an accident you see coming is better to handle than an accident that surprises you. Those in highly remote areas or those away from civilization would not have easy access to medical care, and therefore would suffer greatly to obtain access. Eventually, this scenario will play out like the previous one, but at the end, the majority of the world will pull through due to the low fatality rate that comes with the virus. Usually, a person cannot contract the flu again, but as we do not fully understand COVID-19 yet, one could argue that after this scenario, the virus would pack its bags to never be seen again. In all seriousness though, this will probably be the last video we probably make about COVID-19, so we leave you with two important messages. The first is to look at the bright side of things. Even though people keep catching the virus, the fatality rate is drastically lower than you may expect, so stay positive and hopeful. The second is to be careful to not catch the virus, and if you do not panic and immediately self-isolate. Always wash your hands and keep in touch with your doctor. If the situation gets worse, like having shortness of breath or developing blue lips, please get some immediate help while keeping others safe by wearing a mask at all times and calling the hospital in advance. If you do not have the symptoms and feel much better for a minimum of 3 days after your fever, you are therefore victorious. And please do not use chloroquine as President Trump has mentioned. Do you know anyone who has contacted the virus? We'd love to hear your story on this that may help others. It is a tough time and inspirational stories will be a change of pace. We'd love to hear you on this. If you'd like to be informed when we roll out new videos, give us a like to help us with the YouTube algorithm. Share this with a friend and drop a comment if you disagree or would like to request a video. Till then, brothers and sisters, have a nice day.